Manhunt for Amritpal Singh in India. The threat of separatist mobs continues across the West, with Indian missions on the target list. After protests in London amidst heavy security, separatists hit the streets in the United States again, days after vandalism at the Indian consulate in San Francisco. Protesters gathered again today, raising separatist flags and chanting slogans. Unlike last time, this time the consulate was heavily guarded by the police and the roads were barricaded to prevent any untoward incident. On Wednesday, there was heavy police presence outside the Indian High Commission in London as separatists agitated once again after targeting the tricolour. Such demonstrations have become the norm in the West, even as top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 how these radical cells are a part of the global ISI nexus of target India and peddle propaganda. Such agitations have also been seen on the streets of Canada and Australia, where these radicals have targeted Indian diplomatic staff, expats and even temples in their campaign against the nation. While one is on the run in India, we have only seen condemnation from Western leaders and no crackdown on a clear security threat that needs to be nipped in the bud. Why is there such a soft approach in the West is the question that I ask.
Send out a very strong message that this kind of secessionism would not do. Those countries have to improve security and make it punishable.
Some breaking news now coming in from Punjab. The Punjab police sources are telling CNN News 18 that Amritpal's associates in other states are being arrested as well. Punjab police has arrested a person from Delhi's Tilak Vihar. Punjab police arrested a suspect named Amit Singh, and according to sources, Amit Singh was in touch with Amritpal Singh. Anshul is getting us that piece of breaking news and is joining me from Jalandhar. Anshul, the question is that the Punjab police now is fairly sure that Amritpal Singh has crossed the border and has left Punjab. So where is he, or has he left India altogether?
So yes, Maria, that's the million-dollar question. Where is Amritpal Singh? But yes, definitely it has been proven today that Amritpal Singh has left from the borders of Punjab. We have got those CCTV visuals from Kurukshetra, where Amritpal Singh was actually residing for more than 2 days. It is being said that on the 19th of March, Amritpal Singh during the night reached Kurukshetra. He stayed there on 20th, and during the wee hours of 21st, he left from Kurukshetra and fled from the spot. Now the Punjab police is actually looking at his other associates, who could be in other parts of the country, whose help he is taking at this point in time. Because remember, the house that he stayed in belonged to Baljeet Kaur. Now Baljeet Kaur is a very close aide of Pampalpreet Singh, who is again running with Amritpal Singh at this point in time. So Amritpal Singh is taking help of his other supporters, the people who actually support his ideology, and is trying to flee from the grasp of police at this point in time. So the Punjab police has now expanded the operation. The people that they have arrested, in the close associates whom they have arrested from out here in Punjab, they are being interrogated, and the names of other supporters are being taken down who are operating in other parts of the country, and those people are now being picked up by the Punjab police. So yes, the operation has been expanded, but yes, the positive news for today for the Punjab police has been that they have been able to map his route till the 21st of March, because remember, till yesterday the entire investigation or the entire mapping that the Punjab police had done, that was all of 18th of March, on the very day the entire incident of chasing happened, and of the 19th of March. Now finally they have reached the 21st of March, and they have pointed out a location where he was on 21st of March. Search operations are on at this point in time. In fact, the SSB has been alerted across the UP-Nepal border and the Bihar-Nepal border, and also on the Uttarakhand-Nepal border as well, because it is clear that Amritpal Singh has not fled towards the Pakistan border. He has went deeper inside India, and now Amritpal Singh would likely try to cross the India-Nepal border, which is actually very, very porous, and it is easy for him to cross that border. So yes, SSB has been alerted. In fact, big posters of Amritpal Singh has been posted on all these borders just to make sure that any person who actually recognizes a person looking like him his information should be given to the police, so that the police can act on it and actually go ahead and arrest him. But yes, the million-dollar question still remains: where is Amritpal Singh? And the Punjab police at this point in time does not have any clue whatsoever as to where or in which state is Amritpal Singh today.
Anshul, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for reporting on ground in Jalandhar. Let me bring in my guest, Smita Prakash, editor of ANI, Shashikant, former DGP of Punjab. We also have Professor Akashdeep Muni, who's a political analyst, and Ashok Sajanhar, former diplomat. I'm going to begin with you, Smita Prakash. We are seeing a nexus at play here, stretching across the Western world. Why is the West oblivious to this real security threat?
Well, I think basically we have, it's also been India's fault, though nobody wants to admit that. The thing is that India had taken its eyes off the ball. We should have been pushing this narrative and correcting the wrong narrative which was coming out from the Khalistani quarters. It's not as if the Sikhs for Justice has suddenly come up, or Amritpal Singh has suddenly come up. This has been going on for more than a year, 2 years in fact. So I don't think that India reacted. Now this is now pani jab sir se upar nikal gaya, then that's what is happening. And those who are now being interrogated, like your reporter just put out, they're obviously singing. They're coming out with all the details now, and it's quite frightening, some of the details which have come out, that he wasn't just a preacher who was trying to bring about some change in Punjab. He was running some kind of a drug and terror nexus, and the people whom he was recruiting were from his supposed drug rehab center. Another report which has come out just a couple of hours ago says that he had started bringing in some former disgruntled servicemen to train people in militancy. Now this is frightening, because it's been a tried and tested tactic of the Khalistanis. Some of us may remember that General Shah Beg was the right-hand man of Bhindranwale. General Shah Beg was the 1971 war hero. He was cashiered for some reason or the other in 1971. That's a whole story. But he was the one who was next to Bhindranwale in the Golden Temple. And when our forces went in, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, just to put it in perspective.
Please go ahead.
When our forces went in 1984, he had fortified the Golden Temple to such an extent that our forces were shocked to see what had happened. And then the firing that came in from there on our forces, hundreds of our people died. How did they die? They were firing from under the ground. They were firing from eye level. They were firing from top. This was all General Shah Beg's doing, and he had collected several like-minded, disgruntled ex-servicemen. And there are disgruntled ex-servicemen, right? Right now, what he was trying to do was people who had been sent away on leave or cashiered because of bad behavior in the forge. He was trying to recruit those people, is what the reports which are coming in now. Terrifying situation.
And Mr. Shashikant, are we seeing a sleeper Khalistani nexus at play in Punjab, which has allowed Amritpal to evade the law?
Certainly, yes. That's what it appears. Unfortunately, Punjab has had sleeper cells right from 80s. And it's not only in Punjab. Like this guy was, he has stayed overnight at Shahbag, and then in parts of Karnal also. Nising, Astan, then further on to Delhi. These guys are there. There's a suspicion of the intelligence agency that these guys are there also. Now what emerges, I think, is the total failure. Number one, as we're talking to Smita Prakash, on our diplomatic front, because we couldn't really keep the foreign powers informed. Secondly, on part of our intelligence agencies, who couldn't see what exactly this guy was, what exactly he was doing, that he was not really a religious preacher. And third, the intelligence and police agencies for ages, for tens of years, decades now, have not been able to locate and neutralize the sleeper cells. So I say it's a failure all around on part of various agencies. Thank you.
And Professor Akashdeep, do you see the soft approach to these radicals in the West? as part of a silent strategy, would you say, to counter India as India's global clout in fact rises?
Maria, I somewhat agree with you on this point because after this particular manhunt of Amritpal, we saw what type of media reports that came from the West. And they were hashtag run in support of a Khalistani terrorist, Amritpal. We all know what he was doing. He was collecting arms on ammunition. He had contacts with the ISI in Pakistan. And these are all documented proofs. And when the police went after him, and it's the way in which the West has been supporting, and specifically on online media, if we see the support he's getting from overseas like Canada, Australia, and even from Europe is outstanding. He should have been. There is an utter need to bring these people to book. There is another reason also. Maria, do you remember the Gurdaspur attack of 2015? And after that, in 2016 and 17, how RSS and BJP workers were killed in point blank in Ludhiana, in Jalandhar, etc. These are the proofs that terrorism has not nipped in the bud. And, because of political affiliations, some political parties really supported terrorism and said about these gangsters, these terrorists support them, so they supported them politically. Now is the time that the central and the state government have come together. I even say that this operation could have been done in a better manner, but still now, there is utter need to nip Khalistani terrorism in the bud in Punjab.
The point here is of what clearly was a recent phenomenon. Before I bring in Ashok Sajjanar, I want to understand from you, Mr. Shashikant, Amritpal's rise is a recent phenomenon. What really explains the support he was able to rally in such a short time and pose a security challenge to the state and to the entire country?
It's writing on the wall. He was a mole. He was very carefully planted. First, he was indoctrinated there. Then funds came to him. Then the sleeper cell of such activists who had been lying low in Punjab and Haryana and parts of Delhi and other places, they were activated. It was a very well laid out plan, it appears, on part of the ISI, or maybe a section of diaspora also. I'll say that they are also partly responsible for whatever has happened. A very well laid out plan, unfortunately. And again, I say unfortunately, our security forces, intelligence agencies couldn't really see through. It's really sad. Thank you.
Ashok Sajjanar, are you seeing that this could impact bilateral ties? Because India has sent the message by easing security at the British High Commission in Delhi, but the threat to expats and diplomatic staff, in fact, continues.
No, this definitely does have the potential of going that way, but I would very sincerely hope that the very strong message, Maria, that has been sent out by Delhi, not in terms of removing the barricades and security from outside the British High Commission and the High Commissioner's residence. I think that is just symbolism. In any case, you don't see any, security threat to the British High Commission. Have we ever seen any demonstrations outside the High Commissioner's residence or whatever? So I think that was just basically a show of strength that was put there. So I think in reality, in substantive terms, I don't think it's going to make any difference. But the message, Maria, that has gone from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that it is unacceptable to, in terms of the indifference, these are very strong words that have been used by the ministry. The indifference with which the UK authorities have been taking the security of the Indian personnel, the Indian High Commission, the property, territory, etc., that is unacceptable. So I think that is really what has made them wake up. I think the similar sort of message, Maria, needs to go out to Canada, to US, to Australia, and to New Zealand, wherever these coordinated demonstrations and violent protests have surfaced. What I would like to say is that maybe in hindsight, 2020 hindsight, it's easy to say that this has been a failure of this and that and the other. But we need to realize that in all these contexts, it is always that the urgent takes precedence over the important. So, you are moving from one crisis to the other, domestic, foreign, etc. but we really need to take a holistic, approach to all these issues.
Okay.
And
I have
now
just
that the
enough
matter has
time
come
for
out,
the
I
final
don't
word
think
to
we
the
should-
woman on the panel, Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, we have seen these separatists vandalize temples, brandishing weapons and swords and target diplomatic staff. Are they sitting on a ticking time bomb?
Externally, no. I don't think so. I think externally what needs to be done is what Ambassador Sajjanhar said, which is strong words by the MEA, which is exceptional, and it should be done only at times, and they've done that right now. What I was referring to is that it should have been done in a sustained manner, narrative building. This is a rap on the knuckles by the MEA towards their counterparts sitting in the offices in those countries. So those are two different things. Yes, they are happening. That having been said, I think India has to set its house in order first, simultaneously, maybe not first and second. MEA does its thing, set its house in order. It's for the past 4 to 5 years, when he was Chief Minister, Amrinder Singh was raising the issue of drugs being pushed by the ISI. Before that, also Sukhbir Badal and Prakash Singh Badal had been saying that for almost 10 years, the ISI was sending drugs, and India being a frontier state, it was making a generation of Punjabi youth drug dependent. This was part of Pakistan's asymmetrical war on India.
Okay.
And I think India, I don't know whether to say that it lost the plot or it did not take it seriously enough, but I think now is the time that it has to take this seriously.
All right, Smita Prakash, thank you so much for your time. Shashikant, Professor Akashdeep and Ashok Sajjanhar, really appreciate your time. Some piece of breaking news coming in now. And top government sources are telling CNN News 18 this has to do with sending Amritpal's associates to Dibrugarh. Sources say they would have indulged in a jailbreak had they been put in a jail in Punjab and would have radicalized other jailed criminals. They would have created law and order situation and would have run their criminal activities from within the jail in Punjab. Arunima is joining me on the phone line. This is a clear no confidence on Punjab police, Arunima.
This was an apprehension that was expressed. Just to give you a background, when Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann came and met Home Minister Amit Shah, this was discussed that there were follow-up meetings between the Union Home Ministry officials and officials of the state. And at that point, intelligence was shared about Amritpal and how deep his associates were trying to embed the separatist sentiment. And at the same time, how the gangster network in Punjab was willing to, quote-unquote, offer its services to anybody who was paying. So this was flagged off as a dangerous combination, and it was suggested that the best way to thwart any such design is to send, if arrested, Amritpal and his associates outside of Punjab. So I think that is what the state police also agreed with, and there was some kind of a cooperation, we are told, between the state and the centre in this regard. And after the custody was taken, they were sent to Dibrugarh. You just read out the reasons as to why they thought this was the best course of action, because the apprehension was that they would have indulged in jailbreak. They could have utilized this gangster network to continue to run riot throughout Punjab, even if they were in custody, and they would have posed a problem as far as law and order is concerned. So in one way, yes, this is a vote of no confidence for the prison authorities. But we have seen this kind of, act happening in prisons, especially in Punjab, in the gangster case. Also in Tihar also. We've seen, in high security Tihar jail also, how gangsters continue to operate, even though if their phones are seized, it's banned for them to use any kind of phone conversation.
All right, Arunima, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. You're putting on all the details on news18.com. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.